Michigan Democratic Senator Gary Peters joins us now. Senator, I know it's a fluid situation. Tell us what you know.
We're still trying to get more information about who the shooter is. Clearly, we just had a horrific incident in Michigan. Someone drove a vehicle into the synagogue and was shot when he went in. He may have had some accelerants. It may have been a fire. But if it wasn't for the quick action of security personnel that were there, likely lives would have been lost.
How do you characterize this situation, Senator?
Well, it's hard. Certainly it's an act of violence against a place of worship, which is absolutely reprehensible, and outraged by that. We don't know any more about any possible motives. The individual, when they were shot, was in the vehicle that caught fire. They're still looking for evidence to be able to track down who he was in order to determine what that motive may have been. But clearly it shows that we live in a world now where we have to make sure that our places of worship are secure. They're not the place like they used to be in the past where people would seek refuge without having security measures built into those places. And it's certainly horrible.
And to the best of our knowledge, everyone inside the synagogue and school safe?
My understanding, there is one of the security officers was injured. We're waiting to getting an update on his condition. We think he'll be fine, but we're so thankful that no children or any other people that were there were injured.
Senator, according to our excellent producers at CBS, this is the third attack on a house of worship in Michigan in less than 12 months.
It has been. And every one of these just breaks our heart, and we want to know that we're doing everything we can to try to prevent these in the future.
And does that, for the nation, for the state of Michigan, create an imperative for a kind of training and preparation that we just never thought would be necessary at places of worship?
Yeah, it's a problem. We've seen these attacks not just in Michigan, but around the country. That's why I've worked to have nonprofit security grants, which are grants that places of worship can apply for. Certainly many of those places are in Michigan, but around the country, whether it's a church, a synagogue, or a mosque. And because we see these incidents all over the country and are outraged, we now know we need to put that money in.
Senator, I don't want to jump to conclusions. I know you don't either, but people listening to our conversation might reasonably wonder, do you think there's any connection between this event and the ongoing war with Iran?
It's hard to know. It really is hard to know. I don't want to get ahead of it as well. But, I think if you're thinking about a terrorist attack in the United States by Iran, it would not be a surprise, given the fact that Iran is a known terrorist country that perpetrates terror attacks around the world. To have that happen in the United States is certainly a real possibility. That's why I'm in regular communication with Department of Homeland Security and local law enforcement to make sure we're monitoring situations to try to anticipate that kind of attack. But certainly it's a very real concern that I have. And in addition to terror attacks, the thing that I'm really concerned about is cyber attacks. We had an attack in Michigan yesterday in a company that may indeed be linked to the Iranian government. They're very sophisticated when it comes to cyber attacks, and certainly I believe that that's something we're likely to see in the days ahead.
Senator, you just invoked the name of the most responsible agency in this space you just summarized, Department of Homeland Security. Everyone in my audience knows that many of those employees are still at work but are not getting paid because of this standoff over DHS funding. Many in my audience would say, reasonably, I think, can't Congress resolve that so we can take the cloud of uncertainty over those employees' heads?
Certainly, that's what we have to fund Homeland Security, and that's what we did today as Democrats. We put a number of bills to make sure that we're paying TSA and to make sure that they have the resources. Republicans, unfortunately, blocked that bill. We put a bill to make sure the Coast Guard is getting paid, has their resources. Republicans blocked that bill. We put together a bill to fund CISA, which is our #1 cybersecurity agency. Republicans blocked that bill. So we are trying. We all agree that those agencies need to have resources, but we don't control the Senate. We don't control the House. And if Republicans say no and won't even take the bill up, we are in a position where we should not be in.
Michigan Democratic Senator Gary Peters, thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you.